Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth community call. There's a lot happening at Covalent. It's September already, and yeah, there are like so many updates that we want to share with you. I mean, there's Stake in the City that we launched. I mean, you might as well like see our banner backgrounds, all like lit up. And yeah, we are excited to share these updates. We've also got Maarten joining us from Astar Network, and then we'll see what they do and how we are like working with them on like multiple initiatives. So without further ado, let's kick this off. Ganesh, do you want to start with the topics?
Thanks, Pratik. So a quick intro for those of you who are new to Covalent and our community calls. I'm one of the founders of Covalent and very proud and humbled to lead this team of superstars and our super engaged community. So I want to share some stats. We usually keep this very short, concise, and to the point, and that way we can all get back to doing what growing the network and so on. So there's an interesting anecdote that came up this week where we were trying to recruit someone. And my question is that why are you interested in Covalent specifically, right? There's so many other opportunities in the blockchain space. And the answer that they shared with me blew me away. And they said, we have a history of delivering on our promises. So we promised, the public sale, we promised the staking program, we promised, a bunch of things, API features, and we have, just demonstrated a track record of delivering on those promises. Sometimes we may not be able to stick exactly with time zones, and a lot of times that's just outside of our control. And it was surprising to see, someone from the outside recognizing this. This means that there's a lot of eyes on us, on our community, what's going on with the project, the traction. And we're just going to continue marching. So I just wanted to share that anecdote. It really made my day when I said, we've been so heads down, just building, shipping, that when you take a step back and then you see the dots connecting, it's very impressive, how far we've come along in just a few short months. So I'm just going to give you like 4 or 5 top level updates. Covalent is a network. What that means is that there is the supply side and the demand side. The supply side comes from the blockchain partners. Today we have about a dozen different blockchain networks that we index. This is Polygon and Arbitrum and Astar, who recently joined Covalent as a partner. Moonbeam Network, we had a guest, Nate from Moonbeam, last community call. And then, Optimism and other layer 1 chains like Phantom and Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, the list just goes on. And then the demand side are people who are consuming the API. So what this happens is as we connect the supply and the demand, the network starts churning, the flywheel starts spinning faster and faster and faster. And that's basically how the token accrues value. So it's imperative for us to focus on both sides of the network so that, it's not like, you go to the gym and then you do one-handed bicycle curls and then it just, malform that way. So it's important to keep both sides in check. So we've been investing heavily on both sides. So the update on the supply side, the new chains that we've indexed just this month alone, which is in the month of August, we've brought on 4 new partners. So we're very aggressive in growing on that side. So this is Norvos, they're building an EVM compatible sidechain. This is Clayton, which is a South Korean blockchain. This is Arbitrum, which is a layer 2 scaling solution. They recently announced a $100 million raise just last week. And then what's also been kickstarted on our side is Optimism and the Huobi chain and crypto.com. So some pretty major news coming on the supply side. But the beautiful thing about this is that developers just need to change the chain ID and everything just works. The product that you guys love with the Covalent API, the unified API just works. So that's going on the supply side. On the demand side, we've had some pretty major traction. The names I can disclose are Rainbow Wallet. So if you haven't used Rainbow Wallet already, it's one of the best wallets out there in terms of user experience. So the team out there, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's the water in New York, but somehow they've been able to build really, really sophisticated, beautiful, and as Steve Jobs would say, lickable interfaces. Like if this were a piece of ice cream, you would lick it, right? But it's not an ice cream, it's a wallet application. So just giving you a heads up there. But yeah, it's a beautiful wallet. So they came on as a partner. They're consuming the APIs. And what this really does is that it pushes us to work harder. And I think that's the most impressive thing here. Every time we onboard a bigger partner, they push us so hard. There's like, why is this not working? They have very high requirements, and it just makes us level up that much faster. So, very grateful for these teams to partner with us and use us as their data layer of choice. And then the main course for today is Stake in the City. So if you've seen, a lot of our backgrounds is this, retro, if you remember games from the 90s, this pixelated kind of background. But we launched that yesterday, and crazy the amount of traction out there, and it's just blown us away. In the first 24 hours, over 1,200 POAPs have been redeemed already. And remember that the Stake in the City is a limited pilot. What that means is it's exclusively for our alchemists, and we want to kick the tires, give them first dibs on what's going on, and they get exclusive NFTs just for being part of the pilot program. And 1,200 POAPs in the first 24 hours, incredible. So very impressed and very humbled to see how much action there is. And what we've done on our side is we're doubling down. So I think the next episode and the next season, we've actually shrunk the timelines there, because our community is so hungry to learn and be a part of this program. So the pressure is on for the team, Harish and team that's leading us there. And then of course, the second generation of Alchemist program. And but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lead it, give the floor to the leaders who can share the updates there. So with Alchemist DAO, this is the version 2 of the Alchemist program, which all of us really love. It's best in class. Version 1 was a trial, you could say that. But the team led by Jackie has put a lot of work into rethinking this from first principles on what Alchemist DAO, what Alchemist 2.0 program can look like. So I'll let Jackie share, what we're up to there.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of amazing things. I know a lot of alchemists are super keen on what the heck the next steps are, even though I'll do a little recap for August. In our last community call, we mentioned that we were going to introduce a summer break, and that was just for alchemists to take it easy, to enjoy events that we were running, to spend time with loved ones, and just give them a time to just relax. But a lot of you have wanted just to jump in and start right away. But the program has showcased a lot of opportunities being built, a lot of partners wanting to get involved, lives continuing to be changed. So it's been amazing to see that. And again, the program just taking a life of its own. But we've really thought about, especially what Ganesh mentioned, like the next steps that we want to take for the program in order for it to be more self-sustained, to allow more people to actually become alchemists, because we've had many people asking, well, how can I become an alchemist? Like, I want to be part of this community, I want to contribute. So we want to remove those barriers. So in terms of when we're going to announce the big changes, during the month of August, our team has been very heads down working on different aspects of the infrastructure, on how things are going to be set up, things that are going to be launched, continuing to give people, a voice, being able to vote, to being part of more of a community where it will be more quality over quantity, still having the opportunity to network with other amazing individuals with different skill sets. It's amazing. We're setting different themified guilds too. But in terms of like the big launch, I wanted to talk a little bit about the event that we're actually going to be sponsoring, which is going to be in Denver, Colorado in September. So it's going to be running from the 13th through the 17th, I believe, and 3 of us are going to be attending. So it's going to be myself, Leilani, and Niall. We're going to be there to network. It's an event that's going to be about learning different aspects about growth and development, We've been working very closely with Meta Factory as they're going to be sponsoring the after party too. And we're looking forward to really learning from a lot of industry leaders that have to do with DAOs. We've been in conversations with many people, and we're prepping to do some cool giveaways during the event, and also looking to sit on a panel to talk about some cool things going on in the community, and also absorbing a lot of knowledge from leaders there. So if you are there during September 13th, or we're going to be there from the 14th to the 18th, the three of us, please feel free to drop down and say hi. We'd love to meet you, and we'd love to get all of your support. But we're basically going to be announcing a big launch and revealing more information about the changes that we're doing for the program, as a lot of people have been keen. And in the back end, we've already chosen a few leaders who are going to be basically playing a big role as Genesis founders for the big shift, including guild leaders too. So these are people that have been nominated, have done above and beyond in the program itself of really showcasing amazing leadership qualities, and also really owning Covalent values. And we really look at those things, and it's just really helped move the needle. But now it's time to move on to like the next thing, and continuing to build those opportunities. And the main focus is going to be continuing to change people's lives, and opening career paths, getting people to network, connecting others, and also being able to add more value to our ecosystem for those who really want to contribute to be part of this legacy. So we're super excited about that. But yes, please keep an eye on those dates. We're going to be doing basically like the presentation. I'll be talking about different things that you can expect during the launch, but we're already prepping things in the back end. I just asked Alchemist, please be a little bit more patient. I know you guys are asking, where's season 6? What's going on? I want to get back to work, and I love that energy, but things are coming. And it will allow you guys to be able to do way more initiatives and putting in proposals where you won't have to rely so much on us to give you the thumbs up. Like if you have the passion and the drive, like you're going to be able to be capable of doing it, and expect some really cool guilds with really amazing leaders driving that, where it's anywhere from themes that have to do with like developers, with mental health, with fitness, with education, esports too, and also like research. And we're also going to be launching another one with marketing and growth, which our regional leaders are going to play a huge role in. So we're super excited, but that's all I can talk about for now. But yeah, big props to everybody, and to our team too. It's been like a collaborative, like all these skill sets and minds coming together. So this wouldn't be possible without our team as well.
Thank you, Jackie. So the Alchemist program, it started as an open program, but with the stake in the city and the other programs we have launched, it's become kind of like exclusive. So it's almost like the black card you have with American Express. So it's an exclusive club, which is cool. But that's like version 1. I think version 2 will be the next cohort of supporters for the project. So the next thing I would love to share is staking. What's going on with staking, or the update there. The main focus for the rest of the year is staking. And we launched double-sided staking a few weeks ago. This is a sushi double-sided staking. You put in, you deposit USDC and CQT and participate in liquidity mining. It's also part of the MCON program. So beyond the transaction fees, you also have the additional sushi and CQT rewards. And we quickly went up to $1 million in total value locked. And just to understand this, we had a masterclass session a few weeks ago with Tommy. So that video is on YouTube. Literally, Tommy there is a giga chat, like he's a giga brain. He knows more. He's forgotten more about staking than I would ever know. So definitely take a look at that video that teaches you on the double-sided staking program. But the single-sided staking program is coming, and the first initiative there is a stake in the city. It's our campaign. We have a habit of introducing brand new, branded campaigns like the 1 million wallets and the Dungeons and Data, for example. So Stake in the City is an education campaign. It's like the learn and earn kind of initiative that you see with a lot of games. So if you've gamified the experience, you are able to collect NFTs at the end of every season, every episode. And we'll be rolling this out with delegation, token delegation, and then validators. We've already onboarded about half a dozen professional validators to run the network. So that work is ongoing. There are no visible things here because it's all on the contract, it's all coding. But Stake in the City, the whole brand there is 100% visible. You can watch the videos that Lei and I have recorded teaching people about the staking program. So I think it'll be a very fun experience. But the caveat there is that this is only for Alchemist, the pilot. So the main program will launch in a few weeks. So the plan for the rest of the year is heads down, building the single-sided staking. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of coordination, a lot of interested parties outside of Covalent, and that's where things get complicated. But once we ship that, I think things will be flying beautifully, and then we just go down the progressive decentralization route. So that's coming. So that's what I would say the majority of the team is focused on. The next thing I'd like to share is what's going on with the developer evangelism, onboarding developers. At the end of the day, we are a developer API. That's what the product is. So the more traction we get on the API side, the better it is for the network. And that's really what the benchmark is. So I'll let Harish share some success we've had with the events and the sponsors and the projects that have come out. So Harish, please.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Ganesh. And hey, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Harish, and I look after developer relations at Covalent. And yeah, it was a very busy August. I know we talked about having a bit of a break, but I think for our team, at least, it was anything but that. So I'm sure some of you are aware of the Alchemist Olympiad that we ran, where we had 250 participants from 18 different regional communities, all competing in both mental and physical challenges, pushing themselves to the limit. It was really inspiring to see folks grinding out, 11-minute plus long planks and doing that to solving, challenging blockchain puzzles that we had put together. So really awesome to see that level of engagement and competition. This past month, we also saw folks wrapping up participation in HackFS, which is run by ETH Global. And again, every single one of our ETH Global campaigns and hackathons that we participated in have not disappointed in terms of the quantity and the quality of the projects that come out. So with HackFS, over 150 submissions, 20 of them incorporating an API and 10 of them being eligible and winning part of our prize pool. So do check out our blog post where we detailed each of the winners, and we've also got demos to each of those projects. Again, with our hackathons, as I think Ganesh has mentioned in the past, it's a little like having a seat to the future being built. So definitely check out what ideas and creativity are being leveraged into these prototypes and MVPs that are being built through these hackathons. We're currently part of Polygon Grants Hackathon, which kicked off earlier this week. And we've got a full stack workshop that is being led by one of our newest recruits, CK, on Wednesday, where we're going to walk through creating a read and write wallet dApp from scratch, incorporating our key partners like GetBlock on the node infrastructure side and Polygon, of course, on the blockchain side. And then we've got a couple of hackathons coming up really shortly here. So ETH Global is launching their biggest event of the year, which is ETH Online. There's over 200,000 in prizes to be won there. We'll be presenting a workshop on Thursday, September 16th, so keep an eye out for that. But note, if you want to participate, the application deadline is September 13th for that. So go to onlineethglobal.com to register there. And we're also planning to join Huboy's EcoChain hackathon as soon as we finish indexing them. Not sure that was one of the chains that was mentioned, but we are in the process of indexing the Huboy EcoChain. And there's also the Hiko Gaming Hackathon, which kicked off this week. And there's over 100,000 in prizes being offered there. Folks have got just under 2 months to build out their projects with their submissions due at the end of October. And finally, we're planning to execute a decentralized version of our flagship 1 Million Wallets Hackathon. So really excited to do that in sort of conjunction with this Alchemist DAO setup. So we'll be running 1 Million Wallets with our partner RSK. and we'll be reaching out to the developer guild as part of the Alchemist DAO to get folks involved in helping run that out in different regions. And so that's basically the model for some of our key hackathons going forward, is to be able to decentralize and localize the content and have a team of folks running them. I'm also excited to see many of our alchemists are using one of our API courses as an internal training tool, get them up to speed with our API. So I believe Ganesh is going to talk a little bit about our revamped API docs, so I'm not going to steal his thunder, but we are also looking to incorporate sort of a gamification and building out some of the curriculum as part of a next iteration of our API docs. So stay tuned for that. And we'll also be revamping our project showcase website. So if any of you have built your project using our API, whether sort of done independently or through a hackathon, we'd love to showcase what you've done. So reach out to either myself or Emmanuel, and we'll make sure you get your project showcased on our website. So that's our update for August.
And that was supposed to be a relaxing August, right?
Yeah, in theory, yeah.
Awesome. So I will give you guys an API docs demo, but before that, let's hear from Adrian what's going on with the token distributions, Alchemist payouts, the next unlock that we need to be aware of, and news on that front.
Sure. So we just did an Alchemist distribution. I think most of the Alchemists should have received CKT over the last week or so. And there's always a little bit of a few people who we need to follow up with just this KYC issues and things like that, but that's all being sorted out. Rest assured, nobody should ever feel, no alchemist should ever feel that, you know, if they miss a distribution that they won't get, right? We just have a good cadence there of about every 2 weeks where we do this, and sometimes more frequently, right? So this is just, of course, historic to the previous Alchemist program. As Jackie has announced, now we have a new model going forward, and you can stay tuned to how everyone will earn CKT through that program. Of course, with the next big distribution that will occur on or around September 21st, that will be a private sale distribution. And so that's something that, of course, the community should be aware of. There's a schedule there as well that Leilani and I have produced, and so that will be released very shortly, so then everyone will have a resource as well to see this going forward. And there's just two slight point to make there, just because of the coinless distribution, like sort of being on the 6th of the month cadence, and then the private sale being later in the month, and we're just continuing with that going forward. So you'll see that pattern in there too, if you want to get into the details. So I'm very excited. Ganesh talked a little bit about the double-sided staking. That was something which hit our target very fast. Definitely impermanent loss is a concern for sure. Watch that video. So stay tuned for that. Of course, the delegated staking is going to be very, very interesting, I think, to a lot of the alchemists and our community members. And for those who are running infrastructure, then we are already in touch with you through various team members. If not, and you're interested, do get in touch too.
Fantastic. Thank you, Adrian. Another thing I want to just share on the single-sided staking is that the rate is going to be linked to how much stake is locked into the contract in terms of the circulating supply. So we're targeting anything from 25 to 30% of the circulating supply to be locked into staking. So the yield will be higher if the stake percentage is lower.
It's lower.
So that's what we're targeting.
Yeah.
So just giving you a heads up there. We will have all the models, all the videos. We definitely want to educate people. We might even have a workshop where we all stake together. Of course, that's all to come. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm just going to give you a quick product demo and something that we've been building for a couple of weeks now. So one of the beautiful things about Covalent is it's a no-code solution. What that means is that you don't have to download tools. You don't have to download, install new compilers. You don't have to, upload stuff. In fact, our product philosophy is to use the entire product from the browser. So that's been the case since day one. And you don't need to run a node. You don't need to understand consensus algorithms. If you know what a REST API, the product itself is super easy to use. So, we've had 2 iterations on the product, like API docs. We get a lot of eyeballs because that is the first place that developers go in order to interface with the product. Even before signing up, you don't even need to sign up to use the product. And so what we've done is we've basically rebuilt this entire thing with everything that we've learned over the last couple of years. And I think we've built a beautiful product here. Of course, it still needs some polishing before it's out, but I just want to share my screen and tell you some of the top features that we've built into this product. You guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. So this is the, the API docs that we're all mostly familiar with, the Class A endpoints and the Class B endpoints and the pricing endpoints. And what we've done is we've added a global nav here. So you can go down there and quickly switch to any blockchain that is supported, and just a unified API will just support it. So this is one of the beautiful things here. Something that a lot of people don't know is it actually supports multiple currencies. So you can switch your currencies as well. Something else we are adding is, this is a big focus for us, is localization. So if you go and change into one of the other localized languages, if you're an Alchemist, you've probably heard about the calls for translators. So I think we're launching with Korean and Chinese, and then we'll have Spanish, and then all of the content here will be localized to that language. So that's pretty exciting. And then when you go down here, you can try this live, or you can view the parameters. So this particular endpoint is give the balances of a particular wallet address. And so as you change the chain ID and you put in the address, you can get the results, and you can also see the child attributes. And then there's a full browser with the documentation. You can scroll down. So this is like the NFT metadata. So there's a lot going on here, and this is best in class. There's nothing like this out there in the space. And what we've also built is sample use cases. So here, basic example of fetching token balances on Ethereum with ENS resolution, for example, or basic example of fetching NFTs. So as you switch between the different templates or the predefined use cases, what happens is everything gets changed here, and then you can just try it out. So this is a great way to onboard new developers, because when they see a blank screen, they don't really know what to type in. They want to see some rich data. So the templates really help you with that. What is also really cool is we have built multiple modes in here. So what you see here is for developers, but if you switch to the analyst mode, so let's try this live. So this is the result from the balances endpoint. But if you switch to the analyst mode, what happens is that you see a spreadsheet. So you can literally export this as a CSV. You can export it to Excel. You can use this as an analyst, and you don't need to work with a JSON or anything that's developer focused. So this is really, really cool. The student mode is yet to be built, but we're thinking of a Web3 native tutorial that teaches you how to use the API, teaches you about Web3 and so on. So that's what's going on. There's also other really cool features, like there's a search. You can search for like balances, endpoints, components, everything. So there's like Clayton, I believe he's on the call, has done an excellent job with just bringing this vision to code. And what I've been able to demo is completely his hard work. So thank you, Clayton, for that. So so that's the quick product demo. And then I'm going to go to the last item for today, which is our guest, Maarten. So Astar Network, one of the most impressive things that I've seen about Astar from the outside is their community engagement. They've had a lot of community, just super passionate, just like Covalent, and very impressive to see that. We've been speaking to SOTA for a few months now, and we want to build a very deep relationship there. So Maarten, please, introduce the Astar project to our community. How has it been working with Covalent? What are some of our plans we can share? And if you can, please drop some alpha leak here, because we'd love doing that, sharing that with our community. So please, Maarten, take it away.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me here. I'm very honored as well to be here on this community AMA. We, like you were saying in the beginning, Ganesh, while you were introducing me, we're actually creating like a community-driven blockchain project, and that's the same what Covalent is doing. And that's why we also like to have the community AMAs, because we know how important it is to keep to show your face to the community, to talk about all the progress. And when I'm looking and hearing what you guys are doing now just in August, it's very impressive. So congrats to that. It's very awesome to see. I will not take too much of the community's time, because you are all here for Covalent. So I will make it a brief summary of what we are doing. So Astar Network, Astar ecosystem is a dApp hub on Polkadot. And we are supporting EVM, WebAssembly, smart contracts, and also layer 2 solutions. And we have created multiple layer 1 chains through bridges. We have built a bridge with Ethereum, with Cosmos, and we also have others in line like Avalanche and Polygon and so on. So we have 2 chains, like the first one is Astar, and that will be launched on Polkadot. And the second one is Shaden, and Shaden is launched on Kusama. And Shaden is now live. Our mainnet is now live, and we'll have EVM functionalities next week. And then developers can start building in our ecosystem. So we are mainly focusing on creating the perfect platform for developers to use. And one main infrastructure tool that is needed for developers is an indexer of our chain, and that's where Covalent comes in action. So Covalent applied to our grant program, and they successfully succeeded and joined our builders program and received a grant for building the indexer for our chain on Shaden. And that will be used for a couple of features. The first feature is for our developers who are building dApps on top in our ecosystem. They can use the API of Covalent to fetch all the data from our chain. And another great feature that we will be working with Covalent is through our dApp staking. And dApp staking is something unique that we created for developers to have some basic income by deploying their smart contracts in our ecosystem. You can compare dApp staking with a normal staking mechanism where you as a user stake your native tokens, our native tokens SDN, on a validator or on a node to get some block rewards or get rewards through staking. But we created a mechanism where you can actually stake on smart contracts on project itself. So by doing this, you as a user will get staking rewards, and also you are helping the project because the project actually gets like also a basic income through staking on our platform. And we created it so like every block created in our ecosystem, 50% of the block rewards, we have like a 10% inflation every year. So if you look at our market cap, you can calculate how much it will be for 1 year. So 50% of that goes to dApp staking. And from that 50%, 40% will go to developers and 10% will go to the community. So the community will get like the same rewards as it would be if they were staking on validators, but now they are not staking on validators, but staking on a project. So by doing so, you actually support the project you really like, and they get basic income through our ecosystem. And how Covalent comes in action here, because Covalent will not only fetch all the data, but we will understand how our ecosystem will grow, as well as the dApps in our ecosystem. And we will make sure that the data Covalent fetch from our chain is also visible on the dApps built in our dApp staking mechanism. So you as a user can see like how many users are using this dApp, how many transactions are going in that application, and so on and so on. So you can stake your tokens on a project that is actually doing something in the ecosystem. And this is possible through an indexer like Covalent to get that data available for the users to select. And this is also very important for us because we also support projects who are joining in our Builders program. So we give them grants, we give them funds to get started. And one of this part that we will take is help them in dApp staking, like help them fund through dApp staking. And we can also look further down the road through the Builders program, how is the developers going with the development? And we will see this by the data Covalent will provide to us to see, okay, they are doing solid work. Okay, we can add more funds in their wallet for dApp staking, or we can say like, I'm sorry, when we see at the data, your developments are not going as planned. So we have to adjust the Builders program. And these are some of the use cases we will use with Covalent. So I'm really proud to have them on board, especially Sota was, Covalent was on his high list and he was very passionate to talk about Covalent as well. So yeah, we are really looking forward to this partnership and building like a great collaboration as well. So that's just some of the use cases that we will be using with Covalent. And if you are interested in check it out and to know more about Astar, just go to astar.network and you will see all the available links and also all the all the infrastructure tools and things like that are there. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me here. I'll just make it short because at the end you're all here to hear Ganesh and the crew and the team talking about Covalent. So thanks a lot for having me here, guys. Thank you.
So two things I want to say. Thank you, Maarten. You're very, very kind with your words. And I think the best is yet to come. So thank you for sharing your story. The second thing is there's an analogy here. What Covalent does is measures the GDP of the data economy on the blockchain. And you can actually drill down to cities or municipalities to whatever granularity that you want. Because today, to my knowledge, we are the only project that indexes the entire blockchain. We're not taking small snapshots. We're not taking data of interest, but we leave no stone unturned. So this is a very compelling value prop for partners like Astar. And you know, that analogy of GDP of a country and GDP of a province or a state, and then GDP of a city and a municipality makes sense, where you can drill down to any granularity that you want. There is a question from you from the community. Is currently Scheiden supporting Ethereum Virtual Machine, WebAssembly, and Layer 2 solutions?
So for the moment, Scheiden is just launched on Kusama, and we are now having our roadmap in place to get like the full functionalities of our mainnet online. So now we will have our EVM module in place next week. Then there will be like WebAssembly in place as well as our dApp staking. So on mainnet, at this point, only EVM. But if we already had like a full standalone test chain, testnet where there is EVM, WebAssembly available, layer 2 solutions like Plasma, State Channel, Zkey Plank, Zkey Rollups, those are already in place in our testnet. So if you are looking to build in our platform, you can do it on testnet, because now we only have EVM, but we will roll out slowly with the launch of Scheiden. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Now we'll open up the floor to Q&A. Just a heads up there that we do not discuss price. We do not discuss exchange listings. So beyond that, you know, we are a very transparent project. So why don't I perhaps start with the questions that are already open. Why doesn't Covalent support indexing the Bitcoin blockchain? So two-part answer. First is that our schema supports UTXO style chains like Bitcoin, and that's been supported from day one. I don't know if Levi was on the call, but we did support Bitcoin at some point. But most of the interest in Covalent is from the smart contract data. That's where the richness comes in. With Bitcoin, it's a matter of transfers and account balances and token like, you know, distribution and like very high level, very basic stuff. So at some point, I think it's a no-brainer to add Bitcoin support. We know you can't forget the 800-pound gorilla in this space. So we will add it. It's just that, you know, our user base is interested in these organic applications that are on the blockchain, smart contract data, rather than just transfers of Bitcoin. The second part of that answer is that we are actually supporting the indexing of a sidechain for Bitcoin. So this is something that we announced a couple of weeks ago. The RSK sidechain is an EVM that is settling on Bitcoin. So we already indexed that. So look up the RSK chain ID, and if you deploy a smart contract on RSK, we even did a hackathon with it was called the Sovereignthon. So you can look at our blog for the results of the winners in the hackathon. So we do support that. So that's how we support Bitcoin, but not directly. The other question is, are you building your own platform for single-sided staking? So single-sided staking is on Ethereum. So the token itself is an ERC20 token. So the staking contracts, all of that is on is written in Solidity. So you can deploy it on any EVM compatible chain, but it's going to be deployed on Ethereum to start with. I hope that's what the question is asking for. Of course, with our professional validators like Chorus One and Stake with us, they have their own UI. So Chorus has something called Anthem, which is the UI that they build for their customers. And so we'll have integration with those. So, there'll be multiple interfaces for the same underlying smart contracts. When can we expect the ability to make custom endpoints? Oh man, this is a question I've been asking the team for years now. So this is the Class C endpoints. This is where the use cases for Covalent will just explode. And we have a lot of plans there. There's just a lot of moving parts. It comes with primers. You can save these primer queries as Class C endpoints. And then what you can also do is you can earn rewards if your specific endpoint gets used. So we're just a lot of work that needs to happen there, and it's just a matter of time. How is the progress with indexing Solana? So good news on that front is our Rust engineer just joined yesterday. Aurelien joins us from Marseille in France. I think he's on this call. If he's in this call, please wave. But he just started yesterday, so Solana work has been kickstarted. So expect news on that front, at least an update by the next community call. So good news there. What is the advantage of Covalent over BitQuery? I think BitQuery used to be known as Bloxy. My apologies if I'm mixing the names up, but Covalent is a unified REST API. It's a decentralized network that is launching. It's a lot more powerful. The same API works across multiple blockchains. And I am not exactly familiar with BitQuery and the detailed stuff, but Bloxy, the product that I'm familiar with, used to create these retail-focused dashboards. So they were a different focus. They're not a developer API. So maybe that's changed. If so, my apologies for the wrong information there. Any plans for open sourcing core components? Great news there. Hadi is asking some excellent questions here. So, please claim your POAP and reach out to us on Discord. Great questions. So I did mention this on our previous community call. Covalent started as a centralized company, which means that the infrastructure is intimately tied with our internal systems and processes. And the new code that we're writing is open from day one. So if you look at our knowledge base, so all of the knowledge base documents are open source. So you can even see work in progress that's available as a branch. The block specimen producer, which is a novel invention that we're contributing to the space, is all going to be open source because this is a patch to get. So please go through the bootcamp or the Stake in the City that tells you the unique properties of the block specimen producer. It's one of the roles of the Covalent network. So all of that is open source. Will be open source once we're ready with that. So just a matter of time. How is Covalent different, similar from the graph? Do you think Covalent surpassed the graph in terms of market cap end of the year? So I can answer the first, but I cannot answer the second question. So the first question, the graph and Covalent, they're both great projects, but philosophically we're different. So the approach that we take is we index the entire blockchain, and then offer all of that data, the entire fire hose, to developers to build any interesting end user experience that they want. So that's really our philosophy. And the graphs approach is you go down and write the subgraph, which is a bespoke transformation on the blockchain data, specifically to answer your questions. So there are pros and cons to either approach. It's just different philosophies, different markets. We have a lot of enterprise customers. Beyond that, the network itself is completely different. I believe in the graph, you need GRT to pay for the services. In the Covalent side, CQT is not a payment token, so you don't need Covalent tokens to use the service. And yeah, I think that's basically it. So there's some, things, for example, getting token balances, the demo I gave you, get token balances for any wallet across 12 different blockchains. You can go look at the graph. They probably don't support that. They probably would not support that, because that kind of feature requires indexing the entire blockchain, every single contract on the blockchain. And so to my knowledge, we are the only people to index entire blockchains and not just pieces. Is the date for single-sided staking announced? No, not yet. I would say the code is all almost ready. The model is ready. The economic engine is ready. The validators, the initial recruitment is done. The challenge and the blocker here is the audits. So that is completely out of our hands, and that might blow out the ship date, unfortunately. Covalent will live on many chains in the future. Which chains and what's the actual plan to do that? So great question. So Covalent is an ERC20 asset, right? So there's nothing fancy about it, just a standard ERC20 contract, just like any other ERC20 contract. And we specifically chosen to an EVM style. We bet the future on EVM. And what that means is you can go deploy the same contract on Moonbeam or Astar or Polygon or Avalanche or Phantom or BSC, it doesn't matter. But what is important is the bridge technology. And I did share this on the previous community call. My opinion today is that the bridge technology is not robust. And I'm not comfortable putting the token holders at any risk. Anything can happen at any point, and we don't want to be responsible for that. So let's give it a few more months. Crypto moves very, very fast. There's already good news on that front. Look at the Avalanche bridge. Walk through that experience. It's exceptional. I've never seen any product like that. So please take a look at that. So there's good news around the corner. All of that innovation that Avalanche team has done will roll out to the rest of the community. But the minute that's out there in production and has been battle tested, then CQT will appear on Matic, on Binance Smart Chain, every other chain out there, because the transaction fees are a fraction on these other chains compared to Ethereum mainnet. I believe it's $100 just to add liquidity to SushiSwap, which is crazy, right? It should not be $100, but that's what it is, unfortunately. So which chains? It's where the traction is. So the most obvious one is Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync on the Ethereum side. On the layer one, it'll be Avalanche and Phantom and Binance Smart Chain. I believe Solana and Near are also having EVM compatible chains coming out. Solana is called Neon Labs, and Near is called Aurora. So we'll have it out there. So any EVM chain is fair game. The Ethereum network is becoming expensive to use. Are there any plans to get security on other networks? I believe the certification more people get token, and we might see the community. Absolutely, I just answered this question. Great question. The blocker there is bridging technology. Do you guys have a plan to create your own blockchain? Not really. I think there's no point in creating our own blockchain per se, but we have a settlement chain, which is the Covalent chain, to just put these proofs. But that's just a settlement chain. It's not meant to be end user facing. Do you see Covalent as a market leader in the future? Why a market in the future? We are the market leaders today. If you look at the use cases, look at our traction, look at the customers, they're top names in the space. It's no easy feat to serve the Aave marketplace and the Binance marketplace and the Sushi analytics and bring on the next generation of networks like Astar Network and Nervos and all these projects, Hecko, OKX chain, right? We are the market leaders today. We are the market leader, and we have no plans of slowing down. There are already some enterprises which would like to switch to paid tier to increase query numbers. Any plans on this? We were just talking about this today. So we have just yesterday 4 new clients, including one of the world's biggest hardware wallets that is gone through the POC with Covalent, even without talking to us, because our product is so easy to use. And now they want a support, they want a pay tier, they want SLAs, and they want all of that stuff. At this point, we just are not staffed up, not resourceful enough to serve that use case, but expect good news. We recognize that there is a need for this, and we will be bringing that up very, very soon. Lots of NFTs are issued from Covalent, but we have seen little utility for them so far. Is there any plan to put NFTs to good use? This is a great question. So stay tuned. There's a reason we are putting a lot of NFTs out there. And essentially, think of it as a passport or your track record of how engaged you've been as a community. It's a great question. Wow, that's a lot of questions. Any more questions? How do we do this? Do we
yeah, there are questions.
Anyone speak from the?
Yeah, there are questions in the chat. Yeah,
maybe you should ask them.
Yeah, sure. So is there any locking and unlocking cycle for single-sided staking?
Yeah, so there is a unlocking when you unstake, and there might be an unlocking on rewards, not clear yet, probably not, but definitely when you unstake, there's a cooldown period. It's different for token delegators, different for validators. Validators will require more skin in the game, so the unlock period there is going to be longer.
Awesome. I think this is answered. Does Covalent have plans to migrating to other chains considering the spike of ETH gas? I think you've answered this question thoroughly. Yeah. If you want to add anything to this, or we can move to the other question.
We are going to settle on Moonbeam. So that's the plan. That's been the plan since day one. Please read our blog post. Eric actually has written a very extensive blog post on our criteria for settling. And we are settling on Moonbeam. But besides that, I've answered this question.
Yeah, I think this is from one of our alchemists. So I would like to really create my own APIs if Covalent will have beta testing phase for developers before the official custom APIs release. I would love to have access.
So that's the Class C endpoints. And right. As Stake in the City shows you, first exposure is always to the alchemist. They're always special. So yes, if you're an alchemist, you'll get first early preview.
Awesome. I think that's it. Yeah, there's a question about Solana, but Ganesh has already answered that. We are looking into Neon Labs there as a L2 sidechain in the Solana ecosystem. But yeah, that's it from the questions. You want to say any last words for today, Ganesh?
Yeah, so we are only going to speed up from here, right? There are 9 new people joining in the next 2 weeks in terms of team members, literally 9 new people. So we are doubling down. We're not slowing down by any means. So stay tuned. A lot of these things are very hard to build. They're novel pieces of technology. There's always things you need to try, that things don't work out. But as long as we have the long-term vision and we're committed, I can see nothing but fun along the journey. So thank you all for 1 hour of your time today. If there are any questions, please reach out. Our team is available through all channels.
Awesome. Thanks everyone. The video will be uploaded on YouTube soon, and the POAPs will be out via email in a couple of hours. Thanks everyone.
Bye,
have a good weekend.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.